We know adoption takes place individual by individual, and that the sum of those individual decisions becomes organisational change. So you would think that before designing, developing and deploying a new product, an organisation would know what end users want, would know what would really engage end users. And often that's done in the requirements gathering phase. Maybe there's business analysts doing it. But so often when I work with organisations, I find that the product that's been deployed can do hundreds, thousands of things. Only a few of them are going to be of immediate use to people. Only a few of them are going to help people make a decision to say, yes, that's the thing that's going to help me with my day-to-day job. So with change management, even though user requirements have been gathered prior to designing a product development project, we've got to make sure that what is being designed, developed and deployed resonates with people. How do we do that? Well, we ask them. And you can have all sorts of formats for end user discovery workshops, but when that product is available, when that product is about to go live, we've got to ask people, what is it from the hundreds of thousands of things that that product does that's going to make a huge difference to you, that's going to save you time, that's going to make you more productive? Now it might seem obvious, but it's amazing the number of times I run a workshop like that, and I figure out that of the thousands of things that product X can do, there's only 5, 10, 15, 20 features or elements within that product that are going to make a huge difference, that are going to make people metaphorically jump out of their chair and say, yes, that is the thing, or those are the things that are going to make the biggest difference. In other words, there's only a small proportion of things that are going to make people make that personal decision, that are going to drive their ad card desire element. And as I say, it might seem really obvious, but it's amazing how many times I see products deployed maybe as a result of business analysis and end user requirements, which at go live have either got stuff not turned on within the system that resonates, or where what users want is not reflected entirely or even partially in what is being deployed. And I'm just conscious it seems obvious, but it happens all the time. And the only way we can address that is by asking users. I often run what we call end user discovery workshops, so it's going to resonate, what are the scenarios that are going to help you adopt, and also what are resistance areas, what's going to cause people problems, what's going to be an issue. And I've done a whole bunch of these recently. The things that come out as issues can often be associated with culture. That's not the way we do things. We have to work in a new way. And so what do we do with that information when we discover it? We've got to analyse it, we've got to make a whole bunch of recommendations based on what users want, and balance that with what is being deployed technically. Perhaps things are not going to be turned on technically, but it's going to make a huge difference to users, or perhaps it's the other way around. In either case, we need that intelligence so that we can have a primary sponsor or a coalition of sponsors make a decision as to what's going to have the biggest impact, what's going to drive adoption. And so within that context, that all comes back to AdCard. I am aware of what's being deployed and why, what happens if we don't. Do I desire it? Are we supporting people in the what's in it for me? What's it to me? Can we reflect what's going to make the biggest difference to end users to make that personal decision to adopt? And that also helps us focus the training to drive the knowledge element. Instead of training people on everything in a system, train them on the key things, the 5%, the 10%, the 15%, the 20% of the system that's going to make the biggest difference. And an ability to coach people so that they can apply those things in their job and then continue to reinforce it. I'm just aware it seems really obvious, but I would say the majority of organisations I work with, when I do a discovery workshop with end users, I find a significant disparity between what end users want, what the concerns are, what the resistance areas are, and what the technical solution has been implemented to solve. And I guess with any change management, we're focused on what's going to help people adopt. There's a great quote from ProSci on this. The technical project prepares the solution for the organisation. Change management prepares the organisation for the solution. Hope that helps.